welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was, and it has been a long time since I made an episode of the week that was, and there are some good reasons for that. A couple weeks ago, I was in my home state of Vermont, having a wonderful time visiting family and old friends there. And last week was the 15,000 subscriber, 1 million view celebration live stream, which was a fantastic time, by the way. Thank you all for being there and for watching later, and all your lovely comments and everything in the chat and after the video was posted as well. Had a wonderful time there. But yeah, I was in Vermont. It was a lovely time. In fact, I thought perhaps I would show you a little bit more, since people seem to enjoy the view of Elmore, or Lake Elmore as it's called these days, from the mountain. I also did another hike while I was in Vermont, and this one was atop Mansfield. Mount Mansfield, the highest peak in Vermont. So I will let you, without further ado, enjoy a few views from the top of Mansfield before I continue with the week that was. That is over with. What have I been doing on the channel for the last several weeks? Well, I've been a busy fellow. So I did a review of Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. That is book 1 of the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. I had a wonderful time reading the first book of this story. I just loved getting to know Nona. Nona Gray is really quite a formidable and outstanding character, very memorable, and I can't wait to continue in the series with Grey Sister. Perhaps, realistically, it probably will be September by the time I get to it, but I am eager to return to that world. I just love every Mark Lawrence book I have ever read. It just seems like he hits right in the wheelhouse for me. I mean, every book of his has been a winner. Just the right balance of creativity and entertainment and just really clever storytelling. So, great stuff. I also did the Build Your Own Warband tag that was created by none other than the Brothers Gwyn. So thank you, Ed and Will, for that wonderful tag. I had a great time with that and tagged a few people, and I am eagerly awaiting their versions of the tag if they decide to do that. That tag has been going around, though, so quite a few people have responded to the call to arms. So it's been fun watching people make their choices. Also, I put out a video. As I mentioned, I was in Vermont. I put out a video showing my little hike up Elmore Mountain. And it was very well received. People seem to enjoy that very much. I certainly enjoy that hike. I don't even know how many times I've been up that mountain, but it's a place where when I was in high school, I used to go sometimes even sleep on the top of the mountain and just look at the stars, which in all their glory up there, you could see the Milky Way straight across the galaxy. It was really quite something, a lot of memories on that mountain for me. And I also put out a review of Paladin Unbound, and a self-published book by the author Jeff Spate, as part of my effort to cover self-published books and indie press books on the channel. And I really had a great time reading Paladin Unbound. It reminded me so vividly of my Dungeons and Dragons days. And so it was it was nostalgic for me, and also a fun read. So yeah, that was great. And then I also had a Dear Dr. Fantasy episode with Jake from Man Carrying Thing, and that was a blast. That was a lot of fun. It was really quite a great time for me to talk to Jake. I got to see, of course, a little bit of more serious side of him, because everybody knows his skits are brilliant and funny. But to create such brilliant skits, you have to have a very sharp mind, and I think that he has incredible insights on an array of topics. But I really enjoyed talking with him about writing and about literature and what makes stories work, what makes writing work, and the craft. So just somebody that, there's so many of us here who are students of the craft of writing, and it's such a pleasure to meet someone who and as it turned out, we had a whole bunch of things in common, a bunch of sort of seemingly random things. So it was a lot of fun to talk to Jake and to get some insights from him on his journey with literature so far. So I enjoyed that tremendously. I love this series that I have fallen into, this chat series, Dear Dr. Fantasy. It's been wonderful to just sit down and have the opportunity to get to know some of my fellow booktubers this way. So yeah, great stuff. And I did a review of Song of Susanna, Book 6 in the Dark Tower series. And I didn't know what I was going to think of Song of Susanna, because a lot of people I know who even love Stephen King, even love much of Dark Tower, do not like Song of Susanna very much. But then again, there were some people who told me they love it. And as it turns out, I'm on the side of those who love it. In fact, I can even claim that Song of Susanna is my favorite Dark Tower book thus far. Boom! I said it. Actually, I said it in the review as well. But but yeah, it's just, I loved it. I really did dig the whole meta stuff in there, all the self-referential stuff. It reminded me a little bit of Douglas Hofstadter's book, Gödel Escher Bach, The Eternal Golden Braid, where there's a whole lot about strange loops in there. So yeah, it was really interesting. I wonder if Stephen King read Gödel Escher Bach. Maybe. But anyway, just loved it. And I love where he's taking this whole series. It's seemingly... so I'm so eager for the last book, Book 7, in the Dark Tower series. Gonna love it, I'm pretty sure. Now that I know, Book 6 really did resonate with me. So I have a feeling so will Book 7. So yeah, in addition to that, I also did a Dear Dr. Fantasy. Speaking of Dear Dr. Fantasy, I had another wonderful episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy with Angela, who is has a brand new channel, Do Unicorns Read, and is doing a fabulous job of putting out some quality content on that channel. She has some Malazan videos out. She's done a review of a John Gwynne book. She's reading Mark Lawrence right now. And she has a rich history of reading and engaging in literature in several languages. So it was really a pleasure to have that discussion with Angela and to learn from her. And I am so confident that I'm going to be enjoying lots of great videos on Do Unicorns Read. And what else was going on here? Oh, I had my 15,000 subscriber, 1 million view live stream celebration, and I was joined by a mystery guest. I bet no one had a clue who the mystery guest was going to be, as it turned out it was, AP Canavan from A Critical Dragon, aka Professor Fireballs. And it was a wonderful time that we had together. I just love sitting down with AP. He is, I made so many wonderful friendships on this platform. And I have had the privilege to get to know so many beautiful people. Well, of course, he's my nemesis too. So, he's, got to keep that in perspective. Got to make sure the nemesis doesn't get a fat head or anything like that. So, but he's all right. Yeah, he's all right, Professor Fireballs. So it was a lot of fun listening to his responses to some of the questions on there, and engaging with him and engaging with everybody in the chat. And thanks once again, all of you, for supporting this crazy endeavor of mine. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, and let's see where it goes. And there's more stuff that happened on the channel. So speaking of the devil, or speaking of the dragon, I had another chat with AP. This one was on originality and inspiration. So, and specifically in fantasy, but it applies to really, I think, broadly literature. And we had a great time talking about the whole concept of originality and how it's really more of a modern thing, and how storytelling has evolved over the centuries, and what exactly this obsession with originality is, and how much do we owe the people that whose books we've been reading, whose stories we've been consuming. How do they emerge in our own storytelling if we tell stories? So yeah, it was a really fun conversation as well. And I think, and from the comments, I think it was a fairly interesting conversation for a lot of people. So I had a great time with that. And I also had one more episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy with the eloquent Jake Bishop. So 2 Jakes. Wow. So yeah, we're covering lots of great people in this series, Dear Dr. Fantasy. I could just do Dear Dr. Fantasy for the rest of my life, I'm pretty sure, and meet so many cool, wonderful people. And Jake is definitely one of them. I had a great time talking about all kinds of series. But probably one of the most memorable parts of that discussion, for me anyway, was him pitching Guy Gavriel Kay to me. And man, I'm gonna have to find a way to read GGK sooner rather than later. After hearing Jake eloquently pitch for his books. I have read Tigana many years ago, a couple decades ago, but I need to reread it, and there are so many other series of his that I'd like to check out as well. So yeah, there's a whole long list, as you all know, of books I need to read, and the Guy Gavriel Kay's books are up there. So what else have I been up to? Well, elsewhere on YouTube, I did appear on A Critical Dragon for AP's live stream celebration. He was celebrating the milestone of passing 5,000 subscribers, and I am sure that once people find out about the quality of the content on A Critical Dragon, especially the videos with me, but the others are okay too, but once they find out about the quality of the content on his channel, that channel it deserves to blow up. He's doing stuff on that channel that no one else is doing, and his level of analysis is unparalleled. And he's just got so much to tell us all about storytelling and how it works, and the insider sort of view of storytelling as a very intelligent analyst of narrative. So it's just so much rich content on that channel. So it was really a pleasure to go there and harass AP a little bit, along with Steven Erikson and Ian Esselmont, who were also guests for that celebration. So it was Professor Fireballs and Steven Erikson and Ian Esselmont and little old me. And I made quite, I think, a distinguished appearance when I joined the live stream, if you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun to help him celebrate. And I also appeared on Side Quest with Jordan on iWizard. That's a great little channel, and it's going to be a lot bigger. It's actually not that little, but it is going to grow, I'm sure, a lot, because Jordan is an incredibly eloquent guy, a very well-read individual, and I had a fantastic time. It was basically his side quest series is much like Dear Dr. Fantasy or Chatting with Nuts or Talk About Nothing, one of those kind of things. And he does a brilliant job with it. And so I just encourage everyone to go and check out his channel, iWizard. The level of discourse on that channel is extremely high and engaging. And I had a wonderful time chatting with Jordan. So that's that's a lot, but it has been, I think, like 3 weeks. So, but I am also continuing to read right now, and I'm doing some cool stuff. I am in the midst of, almost halfway through, Stephen Erickson's The Crippled God, Book 10 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. This is part of the great Malazan read on my channel and on AP's channel, Critical Dragon. We are almost done, folks. This is it. I don't know how I feel. I feel, wow, just quite a mixture of emotions. Reading this book produces quite a mixture of emotions. It's Erickson, and Erickson already made me cry quite a few times, and I might even cry just because I'm done reading this series. So, this is great stuff. Crippled God is every bit as amazing and sublime as I remember. It is just, this is part of the climax of, part of the greatest series of books of all time, in my opinion. So, just great stuff. I'm having a blast with this. And after I finish The Crippled God, I'm not going to be done with Malazan. I'm going to be reading Ian Esselman's A Sail, which is the last book in Novels of the Malazan Empire, and I am so excited to get to that, because there are some elements in there that have been promised. Ian Esselman himself promised me that they're going to resonate with me, and I'm sure he's right about that. So I am going to be so happy for the next few weeks reading all this Malazan stuff. And it doesn't end there. I'm going to be reading Janny Wirtz. I'm going to be starting The Wars of Light and Shadow by Janny Wirtz, beginning with The Curse of the Mist Wraith. And so, boom! Wow! I've got so many cool books ahead of me. I am so excited. And of course, in addition to talking with AP about The Crippled God and A Sail, and maybe if we're lucky, Stephen Erickson and Ian Esselman as well, we can get them in some of those discussions. I'm going to be talking about The Wars of Light and Shadow with Jimmy from the Fantasy Network, with Joanna, with AP, and Janny Wirtz herself will probably be joining us for some of these discussions too. So this is going to be a big deal, folks. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. We are shooting for early August for our first discussion on The Curse of the Mist Wraith. So, wow, watch out. Here it comes. And I also want to squeeze in a self-published book, perhaps in between The Crippled God and A Sail. It's a really short one I've got, and I'm looking forward to it very much. It's a Roman Empire-based fantasy. So, I'm going to check that out as well. I want to stick to my one-a-month self-published indie press commitment. So I want to squeeze that in too. And looking forward to that very much. So, that's what I'm reading in the very near future. Upcoming on the channel, I have a couple exciting things coming up. A couple episodes of Dear Dr. Fantasy have been scheduled. One is going to be in early August with Derry's Read It Before, and I'm so looking forward to talking with Derry. She is, if you don't know, she is a big-time fan of the realm of the Elderlings and Discworld, and I have so many questions for her about those two series. And she's just an incredibly warm and nice person too. So I am very privileged to be able to talk to her. I'm excited for that conversation. And another episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy that I have scheduled for late August is going to be with Murphy Napier. And I am so happy about that. I'm so excited because Murphy is reading the Malazan Book of the Fallen. So that is something I hope will come up during the course of our conversation. And also, interestingly, a lot of people have been encouraging me to take up some manga. And specifically, the recommendations have been for the Vinland Saga and Berserk and One Piece. And I know that Murphy has been reading One Piece. So I'm probably going to be asking her to help me out and give me a One Piece pitch, which I know she'll be brilliant at. So yeah, I'm very excited to have the opportunity to talk to Murphy, and I'm sure other series that we both love, including Gentlemen Bastards, Lord of the Rings, First Law. Those might come up too. So we have those in common as well. So yeah, I'm very excited for these upcoming episodes of Dear Dr. Fantasy and whatever else might be coming up, all the collaborations and videos and reviews and all the fun stuff we do around here. So, so one last thing, I guess, no book news. I've let it be known that my agent has made the pitch to publishers. That was about 3 weeks ago now. So we shall see what happens. I am told that I should not be holding my breath, that this is a process that most often takes quite some time. So I will let you guys know if any good news happens. I will certainly be shouting up and down about it. So, but yeah, I will probably not say anything until I hear something for now. But you just know that I am very eager to hear from my agent, and I will definitely let you know when I know. And so that's it for this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support, for watching my videos, for your comments, for all the engagement. I appreciate you all so very much. Until next time.